We've all felt that sudden spike of dread. Maybe it hits when staring at a blinking cursor, or right as your hand reaches for the handle of a corporate interview room. That hesitation manifests in quiet, destructive ways. We avoid taking on new challenges, we suppress our actual professional needs, and we struggle to set healthy boundaries in the workplace. This data reveals how deep this anxiety runs across demographics. Men typically apply for a job when they meet about 60% of the listed qualifications. Women, however, tend to wait until they hit 100%. This paralysis traps us because we've bought into a myth. We think we have to actually feel confident before we are allowed to take action. Researchers use a specific term for overcoming this: career search self-efficacy. As this chart shows, it is a measure of a person's belief in their ability to perform career exploration activities. Look at the inputs: vicarious experiences and anxiety management. This replaces the vague idea of confidence with something measurable. It proves that shyness isn't a permanent trait or unchangeable identity. You behave shyly in certain moments, but it is a temporary, constructed state. Because it is constructed, confidence functions exactly like a biological muscle. It only grows and strengthens when it encounters deliberate resistance. To build that muscle, we have to start an action-first engine. That means abandoning a defensive, fixed mindset, where your abilities feel set in stone, and adopting a highly adaptable growth mindset. In a growth mindset, failure is just data. When you encounter a gap in your knowledge, the internal dialogue shifts from a defeated "I don't know" to a curious "I don't know yet." But a mindset shift isn't enough on its own. You need a daily workout, which comes in the form of micro-risks. Try walking down the street and smiling at strangers. Keep doing it until someone doesn't smile back. When that happens, you'll realize the rejection is entirely harmless. You have no idea what kind of day they are having, and their reaction says nothing about you. Or try walking confidently through an unlocked employees-only door. You do this to dismantle worst-case scenario thinking. Nobody is going to arrest you. Most people will just assume you belong there. Surviving these tiny, daily micro-risks trains your nervous system. It creates a powerful new baseline of boldness that protects the brain against the fear of social rejection. There's an assumption that to leverage this boldness and network effectively, you have to be the loudest, most extroverted person in the room. That is completely false. Consider Bill Clinton. In a crowded room of hundreds of people, his charisma didn't come from shouting over the noise. It came from locking on to one person at a time and giving them his absolute undivided attention. Introverts can easily leverage this exact strategy. Instead of feeling the exhausting pressure to perform or speak, you simply deploy deep, active listening. You ask targeted questions. If someone mentions a trip to Rome, you don't jump in to top their story with your own. You ask what their favorite part of the trip was, making them feel like the most important person in the room. Charisma is the magnetic pull created when you exude genuine care and intense interest in the person standing right in front of you. Once you've mastered these social interactions, you have to push further. Your confidence will naturally decay if you stay inside your comfort zone, making stretch assignments the crucial antidote. You have to actively volunteer for tasks that slightly exceed your current capabilities. That is the only place where actual mastery is built. Pushing professional boundaries and claiming space before you've mastered it matches the trajectory of some of history's most successful careers. The accumulation of these risks makes the final step possible: claiming your authenticity. When you sit down for an interview, you must reject the instinct to be a conformist just to appease the hiring manager. Adopt the internal mantra, "I belong everywhere." Whether you are the least experienced person at the table or the most underdressed, you consciously reframe your right to occupy that room. Showing up authentically acts as a shield. If an employer rejects the real, unapologetic you, they have successfully filtered you out of a work environment where you never would have thrived anyway. The hesitant applicant who froze at the door becomes a candidate operating with super boldness. You stop asking for permission. Instead of begging someone for an opening, you are now evaluating if the company actually meets your standard. Ultimately, employers aren't looking for flawless perfection or a robotic recitation of a resume. They want to hire people who possess a twinkle in their eye, a genuine willingness to learn, and the unshakable courage to act. There's a lot more to help you at JobSearch.Community. Become an insider and get coaching from Jeff Altman, as well as video courses, books, and guides to help you. Or you can purchase individual products and services a la carte. We want to help. If you like the video, share it, leave a comment, click the like button, follow the channel. It will help other people if you do.